Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm at H&H's classic car auction at Millbrook testing ground. Unfortunately I'm not allowed to take any shots outside because there's some NATO business going on here, which is a bit of a shame, but I can show you the cars inside. So if you haven't seen one of my videos like this, it's me walking around viewing a classic car auction, giving you a detailed look at some of the cars, talking about their history, condition, and then I'll follow them through afterwards and show you what they sold for in the auction. So this H&H auction would actually usually have been at Duxford Imperial War Museum. I understand there's some renovations going on there at Duxford, and so I think it's the next 5 or so that would have been at Duxford are going to be here at Millbrook Proving Ground. So it's a great venue. It's a pity I can't take the drone up and show you. Obviously been used for lots of automotive testing for decades now. I think it was a Lotus in the distance going round. So I'm on my way over to an E-Type and a 190 SL, just stopping by this E46 M3. Perhaps the first thing to say here is that the lighting is really not good. As you might well be able to tell, it's pretty terrible light, to be honest, to view cars in. I'll do my best to get it right in the editing, but please bear with me. So this is a E46, as I said, M3. It's got the SMG gearbox. It's guided at 16 to 20,000 pounds and is quite low mileage for one of these, about 68,000 miles. It has not really been used though for 10 years. It's been part of a private collection and sitting unused, which would personally put me off. These wheels are seriously corroded. I mean, they can obviously be rectified, but you know, I'd say that 16 to 20,000 pounds and the wheels are looking like that, not particularly good sign for me. It's also got an aftermarket exhaust, as you can see, AC Schnitzer. Onto this 1961 Jaguar E-Type, it's a 3.8 coupe and looks in excellent condition. It's an early flat floor example, so highly desirable. And it looks lovely in this grey blue. 75 to 85,000 pounds is the guide price. It's a US car. Came to the UK in 2011 and it was then converted to right-hand drive. It's in fairly good condition. Some minor issue here with the trim and perhaps a little bit of wear on that sill. It's got an updated 4-speed synchromesh gearbox. Loads of invoices with this, including a full engine and gearbox strip down. It looks in really nice condition in here. A lovely example. I mean, these excellent condition flat floors were selling for what, 100 grand not that long ago. We'll see what this makes. It's absolutely stunning 190 SL. So this is a 1960 and ultra low mileage, well, for the age of the car, 40,000 miles. This looks absolutely fabulous. It had a 4-year restoration, full bare metal respray. That restoration was about 20 years ago, but it's had quite a lot spent on it since. And it really does look in absolutely fantastic condition. Guided at 120 to 140,000 pounds. Now, it wasn't long ago that one of these sold for about £250,000, but I can't see this making north of 90 or 100,000 pounds. They're just not making that much money, even though this is in fantastic condition. Beautiful interior as well. 4-cylinder engine, of course, 1.9, 120 horsepower, I believe. Yeah, lovely, lovely car, but I just can't see it making that kind of money, to be honest. So we've got lots of people looking at these cars here, so maybe we'll come back to the E-Type here in a little bit. I think that's one from the Merlin collection, a prestigious collection. And on to this Mercedes 300 SL R107 era, of course, 1989. The sills look pretty good, considering they're one of the places that you often see rust on these. It's done about 99,000 miles from new, and comes from very long-term ownership, 33 years in fact. It's very well maintained, lots of history, and looks in really nice condition, I have to say, inside and out. guided at 28 to 32,000 pounds. It's quite a lot of money, but these good versions of the 107s do make strong money. I think it'll struggle at that kind of mileage to make that price though. And next to it here, Dino 308 Ferrari GT4. This one is no reserve, and you may be able to see the paintwork on this looks fairly poor, to be honest, but a lot of that is due to the light. It is really terrible light for viewing cars. It shows up every swirl and every scratch, so there's barely a car here that looks in good condition. You can see Bertone designed, of course, rather than Pininfarina. And I think this is the first V8 production car, 2+2 layout from Ferrari. 38,000 miles. It's had some money spent on it. It's been sitting in a collection for quite some time. And it's in fairly average condition. There's some damage here, fairly significant I would say, at the front. That doesn't look too great. And there's also some kind of bubbling all around, and generally looks a little bit untidy. But a no reserve car, I mean, down that edge there, doesn't look too great. Could be a cheap Ferrari. And whilst it looks pretty good inside it here actually, the main issue with this car seems to be some kind of fueling issue apparently. It starts and runs, but doesn't continue running and seems like it cuts out. So I don't quite know how bad that issue is, but something for someone to sort, and probably will affect the price. So next to another Dino, a Fiat Dino 1971 2.4. This has had, again, you can see the paint just doesn't look too good in this light. I suspect in normal daylight this wouldn't actually look too bad. This has had a previous restoration during the 1990s. Still looks pretty good. The owner has had it since 2017. Part of a collection. There looks to me to be quite a significant mismatch in colour there between the boot and the body. It's had lots of work recently. And the interior looks really very good. Lovely looking car in here. This is actually a Swiss car that remained in Switzerland until 1989. And onto this 1997 Porsche 911 Carrera. It's an early 996 model. 76,000 miles, which is actually reasonably low for one of these. They tend to be well used. This is a Tiptronic, so the 5-speed auto as opposed to the 6-speed manual. Probably less desirable these days. Fairly rare colour, Palladio metallic, with a Savannah interior, which I always think looks quite good, but quite dated in these. And interestingly, this one has been upgraded from a 3.4, which it would have had originally, to the 3.6 at a cost of £12,500. Here's quite a rare car, at least in the UK, Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, the C2 generation. So you see lots of C3s, but not that many of these C2s. Looks beautiful. And this is guided at 68 to 78,000 pounds. This is a 1967. And recently subject to over 48,000 pounds worth of work. Full, obviously, respray, mechanical recommissioning. Incredible. I mean, it just looks outstanding condition. And if you consider that amount of work and money spent on it, perhaps the guide price doesn't seem quite so bad. It is a lot of money, though. These had the, this is a small block, so a 327 cubic inch. It's about 5.3 litre V8. And onto this 1966 Porsche 912. This is quite an early one. They did a short and a long wheelbase, I believe. This is the short wheelbase. Not hugely knowledgeable on these. There's some minor kind of cosmetic damage or issues, let's call it. It's definitely not a perfect condition car. This has been in current ownership since 2017. Really well maintained, and it's a California car actually. You can see its left-hand drive. Came to the UK in 1989 and has since had quite a lot of overhauls to it with a 5-speed manual transmission. Yeah, nice looking car, but not perfect. The yellow theme continues inside. It looks pretty good condition in here. Obviously been well cared for, you can tell. So back to this Jaguar E-Type. Obviously a roadster convertible, 1962. This is a 3.8. And it was actually converted to convertible in the 1990s. It's got a ton of history with it, looks in excellent condition. These 3.8s of course came straight six, triple carbs, and allegedly 265 horsepower. 4-speed manual gearbox. Yeah, another lovely example of an E-Type. There's some really good quality cars here. Not quite perfect, but nearly. And here's another R107 SL. This is a 300 SL, 1988. Done about 83,000 miles. I think this is Signal Red, they call it. Maintained at the famous SL shop. It's got over £15,000 worth of invoices that come with it. Recently serviced, quite a significant overhaul apparently. Looks in really nice condition. Interior as well looks beautiful. Straight six engine of course in these. 185 horsepower. Yeah, lovely interior. Good looking car. Here's an Aston Martin DB7, a Volante. This is Mendip blue and cream leather interior. Again, you can see quite a lot of paint damage, not too bad. I'm not sure how that would look in normal daylight, I have to say. So this is an inline six, supercharged inline six, 335 horsepower as opposed to the V12 that came a bit later. These usually go around the arches. Looks reasonably good condition. Some damage on the door, very minor. Cream leather interior. And this one guided at 16 to 20,000 pounds. It's quite a broad range. I think it would struggle being an inline six to make the top end of that, if I'm honest. So here's quite an unusual car. I don't know a huge amount about it, I have to say. It's a 1992 Porsche 944 SE. Very limited run, I believe only 14 made from reading the information on it. SE sports equipment, so it had adjustable dampers, limited slip diff, I think lower suspension potentially, increased engine power from the 4-cylinder, 225 horsepower from the remap. Looks like a lovely car, obviously got lots of badging on it as well. The side stripes, rear badges, 168,000 miles, so it's very high miles, but it's been fully restored just 5,000 miles ago, and it does look excellent condition, to be honest. Here's an amazing looking car. Fords can split opinions, but this is quite something actually. So it's a 1980 RS 2000 Escort. It's got a Cosworth YB engine in, giving 450 horsepower. I mean, I think these only weighed something like 900 kilograms. That's a crazy power to weight ratio. It's had the full works, this car. Straight cut gearbox. It's got apparently a Volvo limited slip diff in it, and only done about 600 miles since that restoration and kind of overhaul. It's got coilover, Bilstein suspension, all kinds of stuff, Willwood brakes. I mean, this really has had the full works. I imagine this would cost a huge amount more than it's going to sell for. I mean, you can see this is a kind of as new build. I love it because I love these kind of unusual builds, but probably a somewhat acquired taste. Look at this. I mean, you could eat your dinner off this inside. Incredible car. That's the same digital dash I have on my GBS Zero. Here's a Lotus Elan Sprint, 1972, and I think this isn't just the light here. This paintwork is pretty poor, if I'm honest. Doesn't look great all over. This is guided at 24 to 28,000 pounds, and I think in this condition, unfortunately probably exacerbated by these lights, I think this one's going to struggle, if I'm honest. It's had some upgrades. It's got a Type 9 gearbox in here, Ford Type 9. It's on Coney shocks. It's got a load of history with it though, dating back to 1978. But if I'm honest, aesthetically it looks just a little bit uncared for. I'm not meaning to be too critical, but I think at that price it will struggle. You can probably see all the paintwork as I walk round. Interior looks pretty good, however. Yeah, lovely wood dash, that's held up very well. And the seats look excellent. Lovely looking black on black Jaguar XK120 here. Guided at 40 to 50,000 pounds. These were making substantially more, not that many years ago it seems. It's got a heritage certificate that comes with it to corroborate its matching numbers status. And this was SE specification, so there's special equipment model, which I think was 180 over the standard 160 horsepower. And this is a US car imported by the vendor in 2021. Looks beautiful, particularly the interior. This is a really good looking example. Held up pretty well over the years. Obviously some patina there, but a Lancia Flaminia here, a GT 2.5. So these were V6 2.5 litre. I think these triple Webers. And this was originally left-hand drive, converted to right-hand drive in the 1990s. And you know, legendary handling kind of GT car, I suppose, from the 60s. Lancia's heyday, maybe. Got a ton of history with this. Imported to the UK in 1990s. Yeah, beautiful looking car. Pininfarina designed, midnight blue with this red leather interior. Really does look beautiful. Look at these seats. It's been owned by the vendor for 30 years and had 30 grand spent on it getting in this condition. And here's another Mercedes SL. This one obviously an R129 era with some damage at the front. Guided at 18 to 22,000 pounds. I can't see it making that. I mean, the paintwork is very poor, I have to be honest, and there's quite a few scrapes all over it. So it's a 500, SL 500, 40th anniversary limited edition. That's a very deep scratch. So V8, of course, 5 litre V8, 320 odd horsepower. I'm not sure quite what the 40th anniversary was. I think it was somewhat superficial in terms of what it came with. It doesn't look good. Another Mercedes, a 450 SLC. I do love these pillarless coupes. This is the 4.5 V8, of course. Just over 200 horsepower. Very kind of 70s, 80s brown colour. It's only done 60 odd thousand miles. It looks like there's some damage inside. Apparently running and driving, but would benefit from a service prior to use. So one can assume that's been off the road for quite some time. Interior looks very, very good though. Guided at 18 to 24,000 pounds. Maybe going to need someone quite brave to take this on with the unknown quantity around quite how much, call it recommissioning work, might be required to get this running well. You can see some various damage all over the car, I think. Minor, but if you want to get this back to a good state, it's probably going to cost you quite a lot of time and effort and money. So here's a 1989 Porsche 911. It's a 3.2 Targa Sport. So this has got the desirable bit of issue there in the headlamp perhaps. It's got the desirable G50, more recent manual transmission. Bit of damage on that front arch. Definitely not perfect condition. I'm being pretty picky here, but you know, all over there's minor cosmetic damage, little bits of rust and paint defects. But overall, a good looking car. Flat 6, 3.2 of course, 230 odd horsepower. I do like this era with that huge whale tail, and the Targas always look good, I think. 70,000 miles, which isn't too high. Got apparently quite a lot of invoices throughout the car's life, and it looks pretty well cared for and good condition in here. I do love this era Bentley and Rolls-Royce. 1960 Bentley S2 Continental. It's an H.J. Mulliner, a coupe, but this has apparently got a one-off McLeod Bentley's body, modified from the Mulliner design. It's not in perfect condition, far from it in fact. You know, how bad that is underneath and what kind of restoration or rectification that would need, I don't know. Owned since 1978 and extensively restored back in 1970s. Loads of history, 6.2 litre V8 in these of course. Here's a Ford Thunderbird convertible. These would originally have come with I think a 6.4 litre V8, but I think this has had a different engine put in, a small block 5 litre V8. Looks in fairly good condition. Apparently it's had a previous extensive restoration about 10 years ago. Loads of history with it, photo album of the restoration work, etc. Overall looks pretty good. Apparently it's had an extensive restoration just over 10 years ago. Loads of history, it's got a photo album. Amazing era of American cars. I mean, these interiors are just something else. And they're so big as well, these cars. Absolutely vast. With ridiculously big engines that usually gave modest power. And onto this Mercedes. I seem to have covered quite a lot of Mercedes, but there are quite a lot here. This is a 1965 190C. This is, if you can tell under these lights, dark maroon. I do like this era Mercedes as well. Good looking car. It's a relatively small and puny engine in these though. Guided at 14 to 18,000 pounds. Here's a Jaguar 1936 1.5 litre saloon. This predates any of my knowledge, I'm afraid. This has been owned since 1989 and fully restored over 7 years in the early 2000s. I think these were a box section chassis with a 1.6 litre engine. £70,000 spent on that restoration. Onto this Citroen DS 1970, imported to the UK in 1986, recently recommissioned, so one assumes it's been off the road for a while. You can see that hatch at the back of the lights for cleaning out that lens. And I think these lights were on a cable attached to the steering rack, is that right? So that when you turned, the headlights moved in the direction as well. It's aesthetically not the best, potentially some rust and issues there. It's got 3 boxes of paperwork with it, this, done 86,000 miles. I think this was the puniest of the engines. They did, was it 3 different engines, 1.9, 2 litre, 2.2, correct me if I'm wrong. Rust coming in all over the place, so yeah, I can't see this making huge amounts. The classic Venetian blinds in the back there. So there we go, really interesting day. Such an eclectic mix of cars here from all eras, as you've seen. You know, vintage 30s cars all the way up to fairly modern classics. Loads more to come because I'm splitting this into 2 videos. Another video of entirely different cars coming. I think what's interesting was there were some really top quality cars. Some cars made good money, but some of them, you know, I think of the money spent on some of those cars. I mean, that RS 2000 Escort, for example, must have had a ton spent on it and went for under 50. Looked like a pretty good buy. And then really high quality Concorde type cars, like that 190 SL, for example, that in my mind are just too highly priced. I mean, the market isn't there anymore, so I think this is going to have to force vendors to drop their prices. You know, even though they're wonderful and amazing condition cars, people aren't just aren't paying that much for them anymore. Anyway, there we go. Second video coming soon. I hope you enjoyed that. Apologies again for the light. The conditions really aren't good for filming there, I'm afraid.